Once upon a time, in a big green forest, lived a crow and a cuckoo. The crow was proud of his loud, caw, caw, voice, while the cuckoo had a sweet and melodious voice that everyone loved to hear. One morning, the crow saw the cuckoo sitting on a tree branch and singing beautifully. All the animals gathered around to listen. The crow became jealous. He thought, why should everyone praise her? I can also sing better than her. So, the crow puffed up his chest, sat on the branch, and started shouting loudly, caw, caw, caw. But instead of clapping, the animals covered their ears and ran away. The cuckoo smiled gently and said, "Dear crow, every bird has its own special gift. Your voice may not be sweet, but you are clever and strong. Do not try to copy others. Be proud of who you are." The crow realized his mistake, felt sorry, and promised never to compare himself with others again. From that day, he happily accepted his own voice. Moral of the story: everyone is special in their own way. Be proud of your own talents instead of copying others. Once upon a time, in a small and busy town, there lived a kind blind man named Mr. Rahman. Every morning, he would sit near the park gate, selling fresh flowers. His flowers were bright and beautiful, but Mr. Rahman couldn't see them. He could only smell their sweet fragrance. One sunny afternoon, as Mr. Rahman was arranging his flower baskets, a strong wind blew, and some flowers fell onto the road. People walked past without noticing, but a little girl named Mira saw it happen. She quickly ran to pick up the flowers. "Here, uncle, your flowers fell down," Mira said, gently placing them back in his basket. Mr. Rahman smiled warmly. "Thank you, lil one. You have a very kind heart." From that day on, Mira would stop by every evening after school to help Mr. Rahman arrange the flowers, guide him across the street, and even read out the money he earned. They became good friends, and Mr. Rahman often told her stories from his childhood. One day, someone asked Mira, "Why do you spend so much time helping him?" Mira replied with a smile, "Because kindness is something you don't need to see, you can feel it." Moral: helping others is the most beautiful way to make the world brighter. In a sunny forest, all the animals had beautiful tails, except a little squirrel named Nino. One morning, Nino saw the wise owl put up a sign, "Today only. The magical weaver bird will make tails for anyone who wants one." All the animals hurried to the weaver bird, but Nino yawned and said, "Oh, it's too far. I'll just ask my friend Momo the monkey to bring one for me." When Momo reached the weaver bird, he saw a fluffy golden tail made just for Nino. But it looked so wonderful that Momo couldn't resist. He wore it himself. When Momo returned, Nino's eyes went wide. "That's my tail," he cried. Momo laughed and said, "You should have come yourself, Nino. The weaver bird is gone now." Nino felt sad, but then he remembered something. He might not have a tail, but he had quick legs and clever paws. So, instead of being upset, he worked hard every day to help others in the forest. Months later, the weaver bird returned. This time, Nino was the first in line. She made him the most beautiful, soft, bushy tail in the whole forest, because he had learned not to be lazy or depend on others. Moral: don't depend on others for what you can do yourself, and it's never too late to try again. One hot summer afternoon, a thirsty crow was flying over the forest in search of water. The ground was dry, and the rivers had shrunk to tiny streams. As he flew higher, he looked up at the blazing sun and said, "Oh sun, you shine so brightly, but you make the earth so hot. I'm so thirsty, and I can't find any water." The sun listened patiently and replied, "Dear crow, I know the heat is hard, but my warmth also helps fruits ripen and trees grow. Look carefully, there's always a way if you don't give up." Encouraged by the sun's words, the crow kept searching. Soon, he spotted a pot under a tree with a little water at the bottom. Remembering a clever trick, he picked up small pebbles and dropped them into the pot. Slowly, the water rose, and the crow happily drank. The crow looked up and thanked the sun. "You were right. With patience and effort, there's always a solution. The sun smiled and shone a little softer, making the afternoon pleasant for all the animals. Moral: never give up, patience and effort will always help you find a solution. Matt was a young man who lived in a small village. One day, while helping an old hermit carry firewood, he was rewarded with a strange gift, a magical lamp. "When you rub this," said the hermit, "a giant will appear to serve you. But be careful, he needs constant work or he will eat everything in sight." Curious, Matt rubbed the lamp. A huge giant appeared, towering over the trees. "Give me work," the giant boomed, "or I will eat the whole village." Thinking quickly, Matt sent him to plow the fields, plant seeds, build a fence, and draw water. But the giant was so fast that he finished everything in hours. Matt scratched his head, worried. If the giant ran out of work, trouble would begin. Then Matt had an idea. He pointed to his playful little dog and said, "Straighten my dog's tail before you return." The giant tried all day, but the tail curled back every time. He tried for 3 days, then finally dropped to the ground laughing. "You're clever, Matt. I give up." From that day on, the giant decided to stay as Matt's friend rather than a servant, and they helped each other whenever needed. Moral: quick thinking can turn danger into friendship. One summer, the forest had no rain for weeks. The rivers shrank, and the ponds dried up. In the middle of the forest, only one small pool of water remained. A thirsty peacock came fluttering down to drink. But just as he bent his beak, a goat trotted up. "Wait, I came here first," said the goat, stamping his hoof. "That's not true. I reached here first," argued the peacock, fanning his feathers. Soon, they were shouting loudly, "This water is mine. No, it's mine." While they argued, a jackal hid behind a bush, licking his lips. "If they keep fighting," he thought, "they'll be too tired to notice me pouncing." Suddenly, the peacock spotted the jackal's shadow on the water. "Friend," he whispered to the goat, "look behind you." The goat turned and saw the jackal ready to attack. At once, the goat lowered his horns and the peacock spread his wings. Together, they charged at the jackal. Startled, the jackal ran away as fast as he could. The peacock and the goat smiled. "Let's share the water," they agreed. From then on, they stayed friends and drank peacefully. Moral: working together keeps you stronger than fighting alone. In a deep green forest, where birds chirped sweetly and rabbits hopped happily, there lived a huge spider. His body was black and shiny, his legs were long and hairy, and his eyes glowed red in the dark. But unlike other creatures, this spider was not kind. He loved to hurt the animals of the forest. Whenever little birds tried to fly past his web, swoosh, he would trap them. When rabbits hopped near, hiss, he would jump out and scare them. Even tiny ants, walking in a line, were chased away by his sharp fangs. Slowly, the forest grew silent. The deer didn't play in the meadow, the monkeys didn't swing on the trees, and even the squirrels stopped collecting nuts. Everyone was afraid. One evening, the wise old owl called a secret meeting. "Friends," the owl hooted, "this spider is troubling all of us. But remember, no matter how big a bully is, if we stay united, we can win." The animals listened carefully. The elephant raised his trunk and said, "Yes. If we all come together, we can defeat him." The monkey clapped his hands, "We must protect our home. Let's make a plan." The next morning, when the giant spider came out, licking his fangs, he laughed wickedly, "Ha ha ha. Who will stop me? I am the strongest in the forest." But before he could frighten anyone, the animals carried out their plan. The elephant sprayed water on his giant web, splash, splash. The sticky threads melted away. The birds flew down in a flock and pecked at the broken web, peck, peck, peck. The monkeys threw sticks and stones, thud, thud, and the tiny ants crawled onto his legs, biting him, ouch, ouch. The spider screeched in pain, "Stop, stop, I cannot fight all of you." Frightened and weak, the spider ran deep into a dark cave and never returned to the forest again. The animals cheered with joy. The deer danced, the rabbits hopped, and the monkeys swung from branch to branch. The forest was filled with happiness once more. The wise old owl smiled and said, "Remember, children, one alone may be weak, but together, we are strong." And from that day on, the forest lived in peace, safe and happy, without fear of the big spider. Moral: unity is strength. When we stand together, no bully can harm us. One bright morning, the jungle animals received a surprise letter. It read, "Dear jungle friends, you are invited on a special aeroplane journey to Rainbow City. Get ready tomorrow morning at the jungle clearing. Captain Parrot." All the animals were very excited. None of them had ever flown in an aeroplane before. The next day, the animals gathered at the clearing. The aeroplane was waiting, big and shiny, with wings spread wide. Captain Parrot welcomed everyone with a whistle. Ellie the elephant carried everyone's luggage with her strong trunk. Momo the monkey jumped around, eager to sit by the window. Gigi the giraffe bent her long neck carefully to enter the plane. Leo the lion said proudly, "I'll make sure everyone feels safe." Once all were seated, the aeroplane zoomed into the sky. The animals looked down in wonder. They saw the jungle become smaller and smaller, rivers curling like silver ribbons, and mountains looking like tiny stones. But soon, a little problem came. The plane shook as dark clouds covered the sky. Momo the monkey got scared. "Oh no, what if the plane falls?" he cried. Ellie the elephant comforted him, "Don't worry, we are together." Gigi the giraffe peeked out and said, "If we stay calm, we will reach safely." Leo the lion added, "Bravery means not running away from fear, but facing it." Captain Parrot flew carefully, and with everyone supporting each other, the plane soon came out of the clouds. The sun shone brightly, and a big rainbow appeared in the sky. All the animals clapped with joy. They finally landed safely in Rainbow City, where a grand feast awaited them. Moral of the story: when we stay calm, support each other, and face challenges bravely, we can overcome any difficulties together.